Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Dadam Gaming Reacts. I'm actually so excited for this one. I've been waiting for this for a bit. I was a little worried based off of knowing Disney took over Marvel, kind of what that meant. And then after hearing that when they did greenlight this movie being made, there were some stipulations about content, which obviously was going to be there. It's Disney, right? In the grand scheme of things, it's a comic book movie. It's supposed to attract kids and young adults. Um, yeah, Deadpool is crude and just out of control. Like that's the basis of his character and blah blah blah. But at the same token, right, it needs to make money. Um, so it doesn't bother me that they came to them with a list of things that were like non-starters. The biggest one for that, I believe, is drug content. Um, which there's like a running gag in the first two movie of him like just inhaling cocaine and a bunch of other drugs, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and I think that's just a straight up non-starter with Disney, and that doesn't bother me. Um, I guess if Deadpool was like a drug dealer as a main like as his character, that would have been a weird thing, but it's just a running gag and it's funny and it's sight humor. But again, this is going to be going on Disney Plus, right? Um, in the long run, ultimately, I will see after watching this if it feels like they kind of declawed the movie. Clawed. Dad jokes. But I think ultimately there was nothing at all that I would say based off the very small list of things I saw that were just like you can't do these things. And I think that's fine, right? You can't reference or you can't show him doing drugs or um any of that stuff. No like crude humor about like children and sexual natures, right? Which I don't even remember that being a thing in the first two movies. But again, right, when you have a rated R movie, sometimes it's just an easy thing to talk about, sexual abuse or you know um rape. I don't know what I'm not allowed to say on, but whatever. This is a rated R thing. So I mean, ultimately, I think this movie's still going to be amazing. I don't know what the release strategy is for like Disney Plus. I think most likely it's going to come to theaters exclusively. Well, I know it'll come exclusively to make as much money. But I don't know the timeline when it comes to Disney Plus. And then with the other Deadpool movies, I want to say they don't show Deadpool on that opening screen in the streaming app, but you can find it. So I think maybe they'll continue with that. Like, yes, it's a rated R movie. It's got a lot of mature content. It's on the app, but we just don't put it on the very front page so that a kid could accidentally like click into it. They'd have to like actively search for it, or maybe they'll put on a warning at the beginning of it, like, hey, this is extremely mature content, not suitable for children. Because I know for some of their older stuff, I know people got upset about it, but like some of their like super like racist, just things that didn't age well when it comes to old cartoons, of like characters in blackface and all those things. They put the disclaimer at the front that says, we're releasing the unedited version of this, for um, historical records or significance. I forgot the exact wording of it, but that doesn't bother me. I would prefer them do things like that because I don't ever want there to be a time where we forget how bad or how insensitive we were to a race of people, a culture. Like those stereotypes are bad, and I love that the new movies are way more inclusive and they show things in such a better light. Um, so I'm stoked for this, but let's get into it. Then we'll break it down.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more
Oh, he's
drink
getting
and
right
then I'll
into that
leave.
one. See?
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Look, lady, I'm not interested. All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick-tick, so upsy daisy. Here we go. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider. I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
Oh man, the meta banger
I don't know
song.
anything about saving worlds, but you do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
You were an X-Man. You were the X-Man.
Old costume looks incredible.
Soaking wet right now.
Boys are so silly.
This is what I'm talking about.
I think that was Ant-Man.
Big slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die?
Dude, the road rage, that's amazing.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even force bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes. But I can't.
Okay, so the new Deadpool and Wolverine trailers.
Get out of this guy's thing. Oh my god, I'm done. That's what I was saying about the drug thing, right? They can reference it, but they can't show him doing it. So that immediately lets me know that they're just gonna they're gonna toe the line. I am sure there's probably like an hour of footage that they sent in, and Disney just looked over them and said, "What the fuck? You know you can't put this in the movie." Which means if there's an unrated version of this movie, so this would be marketing genius. If there is an unrated version that you can only get by buying a physical copy of the DVD or like a digital copy of it, like the full movie, the unrated edition, it would insanely boost sales. That way they can say, hey, we're not putting this on Disney Plus, but here's the more adult version. That's accessible for anyone that wants to spend that money. I would love that idea. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's a great shout out to the Disney AI drones that just scour the internet. Just credit me on it, right? I think that would be an incredible way to go about it. Is you have a really good version of the film that comes out that is, Disney Plus approved. But then you have that like bonkers ass edition, right? Where it's just balls to the walls. Like he does a Scrooge McDuck off of like the second balcony into some Colombian Bam Bam. Like starts swimming through it. With absolutely no reason for it to be there, okay? Just absolutely would just be like a 60-second, like completely like explicit, like pornographic scene, just like ridiculously out of control, okay? And just why they put it in there. There's a thing in Hollywood where like, especially when you're making a show that's mature or it's like kind of walking or it's towing that line, where sometimes Jackass talks about this a lot, where they will come up with a skit that's so ludicrous or out of control, and it's just so like all the way up here and just ridiculousness that they'll be like, no, you can't have that. And then they'll sneak one in, that had this one not been here, they probably would have said, no, this was not meant. Like you push it as far as you can with content they're not going to show, and it lets you like push the overall like bar forward for parameter. So I'm sure this whole movie is going to be completely meta. Will it be too much? I don't know. We'll have to see. Just in the trailer alone, there was a ton of meta. I'll go through here. You might not have caught it, but there were some things that popped out to me that I think are pretty incredible. But right off the rip, the question is, which version of Logan is this? And honestly, the few lines Ryan has where they're insanely impactful, and it's almost not Deadpool. Like it's almost like they're too they're too poignant to be a Deadpool line because it's not a one-liner. But the like, you know, I don't know how to save my world, like all of that stuff, like that's really good. But all right, so we'll just start from the start and we'll grab the
I
things.
told you, you're not welcome here.
So I believe this is the bartender from one of the first Logan movies. So I think this is the one that it might be in like Alaska or Michigan or something like that, where he was a logger.
You're not welcome anywhere.
But that line, "You're not welcome anywhere," that's incredible.
Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave. Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now. Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick, so upsy daisy. Here we go.
It looks exactly like that bar. From that
Oh,
the
whiskey
first
dick of the
Solo
claws.
movie.
It's quite common in Wolverines over 40. You don't want this. Unless you
Okay, wait for the flash.
want
Okay,
to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
that right there. Oh man, I love this because it
Unless
just
you want to take a deep breath
it
through
sets
your
the
fucking
tone for
forehead,
who
I
this.
suggest you reconsider.
It sets the tone for what kind of like Logan we're getting, and this. I love Hugh Jackman. He's one of my favorite actors. And I love that he's played this character for so long and it's got so much nuance. And he's able to like tap into so much personal history with the character that it makes a scene like this just outstanding. And I think it's going to be an amazing juxtaposition. All right, so this was the first big one. I wonder if you've caught it. Oh, hold on, let's go back.
You reconsider.
Okay, so right here in the corner, right behind Wade, that's a 20th Century Fox logo that's destroyed that they're fighting in front of. That is meta as hell. That's freaking hilarious to me. So
I'm about to lose everything
I think the question will become, I'm sure they're gonna do some sight gag where like Wade goes to a bunch of different timelines looking for a specific Logan.
that I've ever cared about.
Miller is not in this again. So that's Disney separating itself from the drama that came from him and the allegations and, you know, the potential sexual misconduct and stuff like that. So they didn't bring him back at all.
Not my fucking problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
But that, I mean, that line right there.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
This Wolverine let down.
All right, so you bring the is it MVP or MVC? I can't remember what their organization is called, but they added them in Loki. Is Owen Wilson still alive? But essentially, they're the Time Wardens of the Marvel universe, where they're the Time Police, and so
His entire world.
I think they're gonna utilize this in a way where the Time Police is Disney, or it's like an allegory for they represent Disney, and then they're gonna be all about rules and regulations and like stipulations and all these other things, and he's just gonna go riffing off start to finish. I mean,
Want to talk about
the
what's haunting
visceral
you, or
violence.
should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
All right, so there was a lot here. I was trying to see. So this right here looks like the opening scene from maybe the first Deadpool or the second one, where the preview was him and it's in a street and there's like a guy getting mugged or something in the background. He's getting his ice cream stolen or something like that. So they might be playing off of that here a little bit.
I don't know anything about saving worlds.
Incredibly.
do.
Okay, that's what I wanted to see, the photo.
I don't know anything about saving worlds. But you.
Oh, that's his team. Okay, because I was like, maybe that's a picture of. Okay, so this is again, like, this is the thing. Like, they're really pushing this version of Wade, or like the Wade at this point being extremely like attached to people, which in the Deadpool series doesn't really happen too often in the comics that I remember. Which I like because it grounds him, it makes him, more focused, and it makes him that imperfect hero in a sense.
Do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
You were an X-Man.
We have East Side's Pharmacy. What's that? Liefield's Just Feet. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's any big like sight gags in the background here.
You were the X-Man.
He is the X-Men.
I am soaking wet right now.
So I believe this is going to be a version of Professor X in the timeline.
Boys are so silly.
I want to say, I think I remember there's a version of there being a female Charles Xavier that they brought into one of the timeline comics, but I'm not 100% sure. This is a scene here where she's using.
This is what I'm talking.
And then you got Ant-Man's corpse, like hollowed out corpse that they're living inside. That's freaking incredible. This is probably a version of the Hellfire Club or something to that extent. So you have this guy right here who kind of looks like a version of maybe Nightcrawler, or one of the like I forgot what their like people were called. You have like X-23 right here, where she's got the nails. She was in X-Men 2, played by Kelly Hu. I don't know if, can we see? Let me take a step back. All of these scenes, by the way, are scenes that were ripped directly. They're probably like almost frame for frame shots, but if they look really familiar, it's because one of the running gags with Deadpool, of course, is that it saved R-rated cinema, right? Because R-rated movies were not doing well; they weren't making 100 million. But then Deadpool came out, and then the next like really big banger that came out was Mad Max, and so there was a lot of Mad Max references in this, which I dig. But as you can see here, so like this is the storm cloud and everything, and it's coming over the Ant-Man corpse.
This is what I'm
No, you never see her face.
talking about. Big slow motion action sequence.
Yeah, so that right there, that's literally just a scene from Mad Max.
Big slow motion action sequence.
Right. That's amazing. Because that's a really cool shout out to also like, Villanueva and that team, man. They just make incredible movies. They're just visually striking, and we just watched the Furiosa trailer.
Who knows if you live or die?
Yeah, I have to believe that this is just going to be a version of Charles Xavier.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even Forrest Bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes! But I can't.
Just absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see this. I might actually head to theaters. Like, I don't. The problem is, Connor is what? He's 15 now. Yeah, I'll take him to see. I mean, it's probably not too bad. Probably nothing really, really bad. It says it's not rated yet. It's rated R. This- honestly, it would have been funny if it said G right here. Like as another sight jag. But yeah, super excited for this. Love the additional sight gags. Love the additional like content humor. I think it would have been incredible or really funny if he actually like brought out the official like if there's a list that Disney wrote up that has like a list of all the terms that that would be hysterical. I would have loved that. And then yeah, look at that. Apparently there was even more stuff that I didn't even pick up. I wouldn't say I read a lot of Deadpool comic. I mean I've read quite a bit, but I'm not like it's not a character like I've invested lots of time into learning a lot about. Just because a lot of his story just kind of takes place like intermediately through a bunch of different other timelines or stories or like um but yeah, oh my god. I'm really excited for that. Look at that. Ryan Reynolds with 4.4 million subscribers. Subscribe to Ryan Reynolds, guys. Oh, man, let me know in the comments below. Are you guys excited for this? Did you see anything that I didn't see in the trailer? Because I thought I picked up a lot of stuff, but I know there's probably a ton of things that I missed. Like the shops in the back, like everything. And that's when you know a movie's really good because for them to have that level of detail that they put all that additional stuff in, that it just makes it fun to watch multiple times too because you get to pick up on more things. Um, the Ant-Man's corpse being there is real big shots fired because Ant-Man and the Wasp was just what was it, Quantum and the Quantum Realm or whatever, was just a massive just letdown and oh man, it probably lost him so much money. Um, which is funny because I don't know why they kept going with they did the movies to interact with these characters and to introduce them in a way where they didn't do what DC did where they would just throw a character at you and say, "Oh, he's really important. Understand this and just move on," right? Um so they took the time and that's what made Avengers such a huge payoff in the end. And it's why that movie made $80 billion. So it's like it's definitely a thing where um they probably should have stopped. I don't know if Ant-Man needed additional movies. I don't know if the Falcon needed more movies. Because it's funny that those ones are all the ones that performed poorly and then ultimately led to where we're at right now with comic book fatigue, but more importantly, this stupid commentary of like SJW, like everyone hated that Miss Marvel movie. I haven't seen it yet. I am gonna watch it, the Marvels, but I really enjoyed the TV show. I didn't enjoy She-Hulk. I only watched a couple episodes of it. Um, I just thought it looked cheap and cheesy, and then I, yeah, it wasn't good to me. The other one was really good though. Miss Marvel was incredible. I loved the actress they got to portray her. The story of family and just all of that, like it was really good, and I think they executed it well. And I think it's one of the better ones that they've done like outside of that realm. But even that one perform. The conversation was never about whether the movie was good or not. It was always just about other stuff, and I hate when it becomes like that because no, it doesn't. It just makes it so that it never has a chance to be good, right? No one's gonna complain. Well, I don't know. Let me go into the comments and see. I want to see if anyone like throws a comment out real quick about the female Xavier. Do you want to build a snowman? Yes, but I can't. Is wild. Okay, so one of the stores in the background, Rob Liefeld. I thought that name sounded familiar, but it still doesn't ring a bell. Let's take a look and see. So I guess that was one we missed. Oh, he's a Okay, he wrote Deadpool. Okay, that's why I knew his name. Gotcha. Awesome. Okay, yeah. So like I said, even then, like you're adding so much additional um meta and like fourth world shenanigans, and I love that. That's a cool little shout out to him. Okay. Imagine rewriting the entirety of comic books just because you want to movie with your best friend. I love as you see, and like this is the thing. Like, look at all these comments. People love these characters. They love these actors. Um, and so like this is what the conversation is going to be. It's going to be the relationship Cassandra and Nova. Okay, so maybe that's who it is. But let's take a. I want to take a look and see what the cast list is because I'm sure it's up here. Um, I mean, Sean Levy's just he's a genius. He's one of the best ones. Okay, so she's Cassandra Nova. Okay. So that is probably uh the Hellfire Club that they're gonna bring in. So he's rumored. Josh Brolin is rumored. I mean, if they're in it, I believe they're probably just going to be they'll probably just be like small cameos and flashbacks when Wade is jumping through timelines. Um yeah, so I mean they're not throwing a lot of additional characters and like the villains or any of those other things out. And that's probably just to keep spoilers because we don't know who the big villain is. We don't know. They're just focused on a bunch of other stuff, and that's pretty awesome. Like I like when they do that. Crazy great. Yeah, no, I'm so excited for this. Mr. Paradox, that's what it is. So that makes me wonder because I didn't finish all the Disney Plus. We had to cancel all of our extra stuff, and paying $30 or $35 for Hulu and Disney Plus and stuff like that. We canceled that and just kept like Netflix. Um, but yeah, so like I didn't finish a lot of the additional like storylines in like Act 3 or what are they calling them. Um, so I didn't get to finish any of the ones on there. I think I got like 4 or 5 episodes in for Loki. And I mean I was enjoying it and I was liking it, but I was also it also felt very like eh. And I like how there's just so much meta in it. It makes it amazing, right? Love that. But yeah, all right. Been ranting for long. I am not ranting. I just been in love for long enough. But drop a like, subscribe. Seriously, let me know what you thought, or if you saw anything else that I didn't see. Because apparently I missed a bunch. And like I said, some of the things that makes these incredible is when people point out or people teach you about things that you didn't know within the universe, and it makes it a little bit better. But yeah, most importantly, do something kind for somebody else.